Welcome to Kahnawake 911, Gasanahwe Sky Deer Yujets. Obviously, with the recent event in the community with the industrial fuel spill, we felt that it was imperative to do these live updates to the community as things arise, and we do have a lot of information to provide to the community today. So I guess I'll start on the political end through Mohawk Council of Kahnawake. We became aware of this industrial spill on February 9th, and I have to assure you that since that time, there have been so many people that have been working diligently on this, from KIPO, from the executive office, the council table, environmental health services through KSCS and our PR department. So we definitely have a lot of people that are having all their time and energy and attention focused on this issue until we get some resolution. We are monitoring how everything is progressing. Obviously, there was a scare this week that there could have been another home. We'll get an update from that. So in terms of presenters today, I'll say myself, I have the Commissioner of Public Safety, Lloyd Phillips, who will be speaking, as well as Ben Green Stacy on behalf of KIPO, and Mark Horn, and we'll wrap it up with Dave Lahash, who's recently also been appointed as a coordinator to assist in the efforts as we mitigate through this. So in terms of what happened yesterday, I'm sure people were aware that representatives of the Longhouse delivered a message to the mayor's office in Chateauguay, which was important because we definitely don't think that they're taking this seriously and taking accountability and responsibility for this issue and accident that has occurred. And obviously Kahnawake is doing all the work in terms of the cleanup, the monitoring, the installation of the dams, and all of the response efforts. And then after that, myself, Winona Polson Lahash, Chief Cody Daibo, and we did invite two representatives to observe from the 207 Longhouse. It was Kahnawake Gutste Adir and Glenda Adir to come in and observe the meeting and basically ask the Premier Legault if there would be commitment on behalf of the CAC government to deploy any resources that would be necessary as we proceed through this. And there was definitely a commitment made. Obviously, we're concerned about the residents in the area, the school, and Gariwanordo parents. There was a meeting yesterday to update them on where things are at. Of course, with everything that we're exploring, as things arise, if there's a necessity for us to move the students to an interim and temporary location, that will be explored. We also discussed whether or not it was time to declare a state of emergency for that specific location in the community and the 60 homes and the school for the residents in that area. But we felt at this time it wasn't necessary. But what we are doing is deploying a crisis response team. We will be giving you information today in terms of email that you can submit any kind of concerns to us so that we can help to mitigate that, as well as phone numbers, a website that will be deployed with other important Q&As and information as things develop. So there were a number of meetings this week that I'm sure could be updated on. There was a community meeting on Monday, another one on Wednesday, a meeting with parents yesterday. So at this point, we don't feel that we need to declare that state of emergency, although we will be monitoring. If that time comes that we do have to, we will be ready. So like I said, internally, we're strategizing, we're planning, we're looking at everything from every angle that we need to be. And like I said, I just wanted to assure the community that in terms of resource allocation or anything that will be needed moving forward will be provided either by the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake, Kahnawake Sagodiat Genhas Community Services. We're also knocking on the door of the federal government, and as mentioned yesterday, the provincial government also confirmed that they will give any resource necessary as we move through the cleanup and any other necessity for this industrial fuel spill. So with that, I will turn it over now to our Commissioner of Public Safety, Lloyd Phillips. Yawa for your time and for tuning in today.
Thank you very much, Grand Chief. Again, welcome to Kahnawake 911. So today I just wanted to add to some of the words that were just mentioned to you by the Grand Chief. Council has formulated a community crisis response team. I was asked to lead that team to ensure that we have better coordination of services, ensure we minimize any gaps that are there, and have a better way of ensuring we have good collaboration and maintain close monitoring of the situation, and that everybody is on the same page at the right time. And if decisions are needed to be made, decisions could be made efficiently, effectively, and quickly as possible. So we'll be releasing more information on what that's going to look like in the next couple of days. But there will be representatives, including myself, from public safety. There will be the Environmental Protection Office of Kahnawà, Environmental Health Services, Public Health representatives, and any other ones for anything that needs to secure security in the community, needs to secure the safety of the community, will also be brought on board, as well as linkages politically to ensure that support is there as we move forward. We also have many people, expertise within the community. Also, we have many contacts externally who are experts in various environmental and/or health fields that we could call in to formulate and develop any specific working groups to help advise the response team, so we can make informed decisions again as quickly as possible. So more information to come on that in the next little while. But I want to ensure the community, as we dealt with other emergencies in the past, the health and safety of our community members is the utmost importance, and that is our top priority. It will remain our top priority, and we'll see our way through this, and we will continue these updates as needed. And please keep tuned to Kahnawà 911 and also MCK webpage for the latest releases and more information. So with that, I just want to say thank you to all the people who have been working thus far with this response. Both people who work for environmental health and work for public works, work for environment office, and also volunteers who assisted with building of the dams. We may be calling on more assistance as we move forward. There has been a lot of work done to date. And up next, I have Benjamin Green-Stacy, who is the director of Kahnawà Environmental Protection Office. He can give you more details on some efforts thus far. Thank you very much. Yao.
Thank you, Lloyd. So as most of you are aware, KEPO was made aware of the spill on February 9th in the evening, about 7 p.m. and we were quickly able to get out to the site there at Zachary Road to assess the situation. At that point, we were under the impression that it was a residential fuel spill, and we took every effort to address the situation as such. We saw that fuel was being pumped out of a sump pump into a ditch, which was draining into the Suzanne River, and so we took steps to contain the leak to that specific site and prevent any fuel from getting into the river and flowing further downstream. And we called in a pump truck cleanup crew to take care of the leak, and we thought we'd taken care of everything, but by the next day the fuel was still coming. And so we were aware that at that point that we were looking at something significantly more difficult to deal with than just a residential spill. And so we had external companies, fuel services, come in to do an inspection on the home, and they were able to confirm that it was not an issue with the house itself, but that this fuel was coming from an unknown location. And so at that point we realized that we had to extend our net for monitoring, and we were able to do some scouting up the Suzanne River, and we were able to track down a spill site in Chattagee. And so at that point we recognized that this was an industrial spill, and we had to call in partnering with different jurisdictions to make sure that it was addressed on both sides of the boundary of the border. We let MEL CCFP, the Quebec Environment Department, know that they had a problem. We let Environment Canada know that they had a problem. We mobilized resources from the National Environmental Emergency Centre at Environment Canada to make sure that they were aware of the situation. And of course, KIPO was right there at all hours of the day and night. So we've been leading our investigation, testing different sites, trying to prove the causal link between the spill site in Chateauguay and the fuel that we're seeing come up at Zachary Road. And you know, we're fairly confident that we have a path now, that it was coming down the Suzanne River, inundating at a beaver dam, and then flowing over wetlands between the 207 and the border, and that's how it got to Zachary Road. We're in the process now of confirming what that path actually is. We're scoping out a hydrological study. We're scoping out different procedures that we can use to figure out how it's being transported from the first site to the second site. And we're monitoring all up and down the stream, all up and down the river to make sure that we know what's going on. In terms of containment, we had put a check dam in the ditch at Zachary Road to prevent fuel from getting into the Suzanne River, and that proved effective. We've also put in a series of check dams now with community help and with assistance from other MCK units at the boundary, right up along the border, to make sure that we're containing and protecting ourselves from any further fuel that might come in. So that has also been proving very effective. We see our testing on both sides, on the upstream side of both dams, that we are catching lots of fuel, that there is higher levels of concentration of contaminants still there, and that downstream we're looking at low and or no levels of fuel. So this is a very positive development. It means that the efforts that we're taking are working to contain the spill. There was, as Grand Chief alluded to, a bit of a scare earlier this week about maybe another house being impacted. There was also another scare last week about maybe some fuel coming down to the seaway. We got our test results from the lab back last night, and it's good news. Both of those results came back as negative. There's no contaminant in the C10 to C50 range, so that's very positive news. It means that the check dams are holding and they're working. Obviously, this is a difficult time of year with thaw and melt and the rain that's coming. It's going to be very important that we remain diligent and monitoring those dams to make sure that they don't breach and that the situation doesn't get worse. Obviously, this is a 24-hour-a-day kind of situation, and that's part of the reason that this response team is coming together, is a recognition that we might work our regular office hours, but the problem is 24 hours a day, and so we need the resources in place to be able to monitor that and to respond to that, and that's really what we're building towards right now. So with that positive update, I'm going to turn it over to Mark Horn from EHS.
Right. EHS was notified on February 14th, and we did an assessment, and we basically looked at basically from KIPO's perspective of where the source was coming from, and we decided at that point that we were going to focus on the homes that were closest to the river. At this point, there's been 35 test kits that have been distributed to homeowners around that area. And what we did is we also broke it down into what we considered high risk, medium risk, as well as low risk. The homeowners were given information on how to test using these hydrocarbon test strips. And basically, they're asked to test on a daily basis. And if there is an incident, they are to contact Environmental Health Services immediately. We also have, because the place that we had ordered only had a limited number of test kits, we had to order an additional 40, which will be coming in shortly. Kahnawà School has been tested on a daily basis. So far, no incidents. We had taken 12 hydrocarbon water samples that were sent to a lab. 7 results came back. Good news, they're all negative, and we're still waiting 5 results. To date, no wells have been contaminated, and EHS will continue to adapt on a regular basis. Now,
good afternoon. David Lahash, recently appointed to the crisis response team for this incident. Just to let everybody know that we are working diligently to get all the information out as quickly as possible, trying to give everybody like a moment's notice to when we're going to be giving you more information. So the things that you really need to remember, we do have a website that's being worked on. It should be up very shortly. It's Response.com. And we also have a way for you to gain information via an email address, and that's questions@mck.ca. So we also ask you to monitor local news, monitor the Facebook pages, monitor our website, Kahnawake.com, for all the information. And once we have updates for you, we will provide it as quickly as possible. Yawagoa, and thank you for joining us here today.